Oh, hello, and welcome to Dente Rigamortis. I'm Review Cultist.
I'm Mikey, E stands for evil.
And I'm the gamer in yellow.
And we're here to discuss those internet stories, most creepy and most pasta, and be critically silly doing it. But tonight we have the Tales Doll urban legend. Not a creepypasta, but the thing that started the creepypastas.
Is there multiple? Is there multiple creepypastas of the Tales Doll?
I'm sure there are. If I was to look up on the creepypasta.wiki, I'm sure I'd find multiple, or at least one or two Tales Doll curses.
Mm-hmm.
But aside, including the one that we did last week, but yeah. We decided that we're going to last week we were going to do. We decided from last week that we were going to do more of the urban legend stuff because we brought it up last week what the actual urban legend was, but then we said, well, let's just go into that and see what we can find from that. And the result was some submissions on the Urban Legend Online website for the Tales Doll, which is similar to basically the main one is almost like copy and pasted from the Know Your Meme entry for Tales Doll.
Looks like it's a copy pasta. That's creepy.
So like a creepy pasta?
Yeah.
Anyway, so we'll just dive into this one. So these stories were submitted onto the Urban Legends online website by the Storyteller, is their username. And but these submissions are by separate people as well. So this one was by Rebecca from Toronto and Jasper from Federal Way, Washington. So, yeah, basically this is the same one we covered a little bit last week. A dad buys Sonic R for his kid, and they play through it for a couple of days. They get all the achievements, they complete the game 100%. And then the dad notices the creepy Tales Doll character that you can play, and kind of gets creeped out, but otherwise, yeah, all right. Or, not so much creeped out, just what is that? Mm-hmm. And the kid doesn't really know anything about it.
He just says it's the Tales Doll.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then that night, the dad sneaks into the kid's room while he's sleeping to play some games. Just seems like a really maybe move that to the den.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's a kid's system.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, so while the kid's sleeping, he plays plays the Tales Doll character in some tag games. And then the game gets funny and shuts off, and he decides, well, it's time for go to bed, and so he goes back to his bed. And then at 2:00 that morning, he is woken up by some knocking on his door, and he thinks it's his son. But then he looks at a shadow underneath the door, and he keeps thinking Tales Doll. So he goes over to the door and opens it, and what's there is a bloody Tales Doll.
It says things.
Yeah.
It said a one-liner.
Yep.
Yeah. It says, "You're coming with me forever, Danny."
Forever
and ever. Come play with us, Danny. Actually, come play with us, Daddy. Forever. But yeah, so that's the main version of the urban legend. But as this urban legends website seems to be an archive kind of thing of different variations, we have different versions. Do we want to cover those in the rundown now, or do we want to do those rundowns separately?
Yeah, just run them down now.
Okay, cool.
Either way, that was story one. That's
story one. Another version is by Victor Poyraz and Matthias of San Juan. Once upon a time, there was a little boy. He lived in California. He loved playing Sonic R. And apparently the video game was cursed. He had unlocked the Tales Doll in the game. He played a game mode called Tag Race, and the Tales Doll to tag He tagged Tails, Metal Sonic, Metal Knuckles, and Super Sonic. That night, the TV froze, and he saw a Tails doll on his screen going back and forth. He jumped out and killed the poor kid. And that is mostly that story. Like, I didn't really... Like, that was the rundown, but, like, I was basically just removing a few words.
You pretty much read the entire thing.
Yeah. And then we go on to yet another version. It's basically a how-to, because it's essentially the Bloody Mary ritual, but in place of Bloody Mary, you have Tails the doll, and instead of saying her name like 3 times, you have to listen to Can You Feel the Sunshine backwards, and then the Living City song, or Living in the City song backwards. You can find those on YouTube and stuff. And then you're waiting to see a red light in the mirror, and it is the Tails doll, and it's evil. And booga, 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 booga.
You sound like you're not impressed.
It's a ritual, okay? It's a ritual pasta. And then there's also, in the same version, there's another on how to summon him, and it basically just goes over how to summon him in the game.
This is a different version.
No, it's the same.
No, it's not. I'm reading it right now.
So am I. Blu-ray, like, copy the entire thing.
Another version that's talking about to summon him, you must play Sonic R.
Oh, shit, I thought that was part of the same one. Alright, fair enough.
No, the two that are in the same one are Once Upon a Time and How to Do the Tails Doll Curse with the Bathroom. They're in the same one.
Okay, because when I looked that up, it was... Okay, when I looked at... It's because of those ads that are on the website. Like, that are between them. And, like, underneath it says submitted, and it's, like, the anonymous. So I thought that the anonymous was just another person that submitted this.
No, when it says, like, reader submitted, that's the end of that one, not the start of another one.
Okay. Well, did you want to continue this one then, or...?
No.
Okay. Well, hopefully I have this right then. To summon him, it's basically just how to summon him by, like, from, like, the main game, or from the main version. Just, it's, like, you 100% it, you play a Tails doll on tag mode, like, maybe at night, and that's about it. And then he comes out and kills you.
Yeah, but this one has him standing on a red checkered floor.
Oh, no. Okay.
And then the game itself is playing Can You Feel the Sunshine?
Right, yeah. And then he comes out and either will try and kill you or give you a curse or you get bad luck.
Yeah, this one's saying, like, don't go near a red light or it might kill you or give you bad luck.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then so the last version that was submitted by Phoenix from Ohio and Mason from Pontefract. So this one is on this kid's 7th birthday. He got the Sonic Gems collection, and it included the Sonic R game. He played Tails doll in Tag 4 character mode, and
Tag Supersonic.
The screen went to black when he tagged Supersonic. I thought he thought it was the glitches from all the scratches on the disc, so he cleaned it and put it away. The next day, he tried playing it again, but he just got a picture of Tails doll popping up and floating around some red checkered tile with "Can You Feel the Sunshine" playing. It creeped him out, so he went online, looked it up, and turned out that the glitches matched the curse stuff that people were saying, and so he decided to summon Tails the doll using the Bloody Mary-esque ritual in the bathroom in the mirror, and then give me a second while I quickly browse through this story.
Did we just tell you?
I got it here. Oh, and then the Tails doll appears just floating there, and he goes to like touch its ears, and then it swipes his hand away, and then says like the red from the gem over his head illuminates his face, and this bloody, like, it's all covered in blood and stuff, and he whispers in the kid's ear, "Can you feel the sunshine? I can't ever." And just as suddenly as he'd come, the doll was gone. So that's the end of that story. So yeah, they're urban legend variations of mostly the same premise, same cycle. So I guess we'll go into everyone tolerates the grammar inquisitions. So we're going to start with this one from the main version. here is one of the stories I have heard of from my close friend. So this one is so the way this one is, there's supposed to be a comma between heard of and from my friend, because here's one of the stories I had heard. Yeah. Here's one of the stories I've heard of from my close friend. Wow, I butchered that reading.
I rewrote that.
You just completely rewrote it?
Here is one of the stories that I heard from a close friend.
Yeah, that works a lot better.
Yeah.
And then the next one. His dad was there in his room when he beat the last boss, and he roared in excitement when he finally did it. Finally did it.
Finally.
Yeah. So finally is just spelled wrong.
Mm-hmm.
The next one. He smiled and asked him how he liked the game as he watched the credits screen. What's that? He asked the boy when the Tails doll appeared on the screen. I feel like there should be a better segue between like
asking a question
and then like what's that? Like, because it seemed like the first part was just like him like looking at his like
he's looking at the credits
smiling,
being like, what's that?
Yeah,
what are those credits?
Like we need like a little blurb where like, but then he looked at the credits and something like came from like something horrible came through the credits, because like suddenly like the first part of the story, first part of that is like kind of cheerful or like kind of like normal, and then the next one he's terrified, like, or he's like kind of creeped out, like he's like, well, what's that? Unless he just has like a speech impediment.
That's the way the character
talks.
Yeah.
Because it just seems like he's suddenly from joy to nervousness. Like there needs to be a transition of some kind.
Well, my note here is that for me, this whole section could be dialogue. Like instead of saying he smiled and asked him how he liked the game, just have him, how do you like the game?
Yeah, like the narrator's describing what he's saying when he could just be saying it.
Yeah. And then it goes to what's that before we get an answer to the question of how he's liking the game.
Yeah.
And then it goes up back to the boy saying that's the Tails doll, and it's like, well, you have one piece of dialogue. Make it all dialogue.
Yeah.
This is a conversation the characters are having.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe it's just like he was glossing over the fact that, like, it's unnecessary information whether or not the kid likes the game or not.
Because you just assume that the kid likes the game.
Well, no, like, they actually had the conversations. Like, oh, I love it, Dad, thanks.
Yeah.
Great, we'll get the next one when it comes out. What's that? You know. But, like, essentially, like, it doesn't have any bearing on the creepiness.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Again, like, there's just, like, his, like, again, it's one of those cases we've had, I think, the last story, which was a Tails doll story, where, like, a creepy thing happened, like, and it just came out of left field, and, like, suddenly they were reacting to it.
Mm.
But we didn't know that they were what they were reacting to until they brought it up after the fact.
Yeah, you gotta describe what it is.
Yeah. Gotta give them a hint at least before you go and, like, do that.
Mm. And then something weird popped on the screen. Ooh, what's that?
Exactly. And then you describe what that is.
Yeah.
You allude to it. At least that's how I feel. And it seems like you guys also feel that way.
Yeah.
I think it's unanimous.
I mean, sometimes
Unanimous.
I could see somebody arguing that fact, but...
It's unanimous among us, though.
No, yeah, of course. It's unanimous among us.
Yeah.
Yes. Fair enough. All right, so on to the next one. The boy said it was the Tails doll. The boy said it was the Tails doll. That was all he knew. He told his son it was time for bed. During the night, the curious father went into the boy's room and turned on the TV very quietly to play the game for a while himself. All right. I would have personally put telling the son to go to bed at the end of the last paragraph, because like, okay, so that first line I did where like the boy said it was the Tails doll, that was all I knew. But then that's the new paragraph happens, and it's like he told his son to go to bed, and then during the night, yada yada yada. I would personally have him telling the son to go to bed at the end of that last paragraph, so that the new paragraph starts with during the night, because that's a new scene basically happening. Just like some paragraph structure.
Yeah.
For that part. Being super critical about this super serious urban legend, guys.
Mm-hmm.
On to my next one. He assumed it was his son getting up to ask him to get him something. He told the boy to stop and go to bed. I put a break in there when I shouldn't have, because it's just stop, go to bed, or stop, go back to bed. Like, there is no punctuation after stop. And I feel like there should have been.
Yeah, I went for that too.
Yeah, because like it's like stop, go to bed. Like it's all like it
what he's doing is he's telling him to stop going to bed.
Yeah, exactly.
So stay up forever.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it'd be like stop at comma and go back to bed.
Exactly, or even a period.
Mm-hmm.
Like a period, or like even exclamation point, depending on how angry you want how annoyed you want the dad to sound.
Mm.
And then that is the end of my grammar positions for that version. Should I move on to the next one, or do you guys want to do some your grammar positions for the main version?
You got mine.
You got mine.
Cool. All right, on to the next version. This one's going to be kind of a mix of both my actual thoughts and a grammar position, so I apologize for mixing up the formula a little bit.
Whatevs.
Yeah. And this is basically me reading the entire fucking story. This is because it's only like 5 lines. Once upon a time, there was a little boy who lived in California and loved to play the Sonic Art video game on the Sega Saturn console. Apparently, the video game was cursed. He had unlocked Tails' doll in the game. He played a game mode called Tag Race and used Tails' doll to tag Tails, Metal Sonic, Metal Knuckles, and Super Sonic. That night, his TV froze and he saw Tails' doll on the screen go back and forth. He jumped out and killed the poor little kid. So rather succinct and to the point version of the urban legend, almost like a rundown of the urban legend is really.
Yeah.
Although there are a few parts of that story that are, just like that first sentence that is basically like a line and a half, and I feel like there should have been some kind of like punctuation or some kind of like break in there. Mm-hmm. Also, when referring to the Tails doll, he never uses the Tails doll. It's always Tails doll, as if it's the name of the thing. Mm. Is that accurate? Do you guys or should it be the Tails doll, not just Tails doll?
He's a Tails doll.
Yeah, but is he the?
Is there only one made? So
I mean, presumably in the game there is, but I just curious. Like it's like he's using it as like the title as the titular name for it. So like is using it like you'd call Tails. It's just Tails doll. Like I feel personally that it should maybe have the at the beginning or before the name, just to kind of because it's more of a descriptor of what the Tails doll is.
But it's also alive.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean,
so it needs a name.
But it's also a thing.
The Tails doll, because it's also a thing. It's a doll.
Well, what if its name is Miles? Because
miles per hour. Well, because miles per hour.
Oh, yeah.
So it would be the miles per hour.
The miles.
The miles per hour.
It's weird that Tails has a certain name like that, but no one else does.
Well, no, it's literally just a pun.
Well, I know.
It's also his name.
I know.
But why don't all of them have punny names? Also, that should be Sonic's name, if anything. He's the fastest thing alive.
Yeah, but he's Sonic. Sonic Boom. His last name should be Boom.
Or Guile.
No, okay, that's just...
He does Sonic Boom.
Yeah, I know, but... Anyway.
And he has the coolest theme song.
Yeah, it's true. I feel we're getting off track. I'm sorry, Tangent Police! Man, they came quick today.
Well, I mean, they were stationed out front when we arrived.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah, so... yeah, I don't know, I felt like, personally, because it's technically an it, like, it's just like it's a doll,
mm-hmm.
that it should have the at the beginning of that.
Chucky.
Yeah, but Chucky's an actual name. Tails doll. Like, if it was just Tails and not the descriptor of the doll, yeah, for sure. But, like, the fact that it's Tails doll, it should have the Tails doll.
So you think it'd be weird if they called him Chucky doll?
The Chucky doll. Like, I honestly, that would be, like, what I call it then. If it was the Chucky doll, if they're describing it like the thing coming at you as the Chucky doll, it's like this is called the Chucky doll. Mm-hmm. That's just what I'm like personally like what I think for this story. Like if you wanted to like improve this any more than like add that for like the descriptor. Anyway, moving on to the next version. Unless you guys had anything for that one as well.
Nope.
Cool. And apparently I have nothing for the next version. Did you guys?
Nope.
Anything for the last version?
Nope.
Cool, I have one.
Do I not get to say anything?
Oh, did you?
You just...
sorry.
You said no,
I heard,
and then you just jumped on.
I heard 2 nopes. I'm sorry.
No. I wanted my chance to say no.
All right, fine.
That's all.
So my one kind of grammar position on the last submitted version was I was creeped out at that point, so I turned off the game and went to bed. Creeped out is not spelled that way. It's spelled Creaped in the story. It should be Creeped.
So it was more creped out?
Yeah, exactly. It was creped out. Yeah, I was creped out. Oh god, I ate so many crepes and pancakes. Yeah. Oh, apparently I had an extra part of the story. I lied. There was actually one more on that. A little more grammar position. Because super serious, critical silliness things. I'll just do it.
Yeah,
I was stunned to see him. He sat there by my head, staring right into my eyes, motionless. It's supposed to be staring, as in like staring through into your soul kind of thing. Yeah, so, and that's my end of my grammar positions for the last one, and I believe that is the end of those. So I guess on to actual thoughts. Mm-hmm. For the main version, the thumping kept happening, and at one point he noticed a little shadow coming from under the door. Tails kept popping into his head. He got out of bed and slowly opened the door. I really don't think a small shadow should be cause for alarm to him. Like, his son is presumably a child, and shadows distort in different lighting in the hallway and stuff like that. So it could be like as long as there is a shadow down there, he's expecting to see his son. Like, assuming it should be his son.
They don't give an age for his son, so his son's actually a teenager.
Oh, maybe that's it. Yeah. Oh, then so it just continues that just helps my point that's moving forward. I feel there should be some elaboration to help like explain why he thinks the shadow is wrong, outside of it just being a tiny shadow or a little shadow. Because there
should be more of a shadow there.
Yeah, but I mean at the same time, like I wouldn't instantly think that like it's because of a doll there. I would have thought it's like it's the light, probably the light on outside or in the hallway is like making the shadow not as large as it should be.
But if the sun often does this, you would know what the shadow would look like.
Then elaborate a little bit more on that.
Okay, so it's basically the difference between a shadow of a person
and a shadow
of a dog type thing. Because a dog is explanation.
Yeah,
because the paws of a dog are so much slimmer than the feet of a cat.
Okay, fair enough.
I thought it was along the fact where like the doll is like floating, so it's not even close to the ground.
Then maybe I don't even have a shadow at all.
Well, there might be something like based on where the light is, but there wouldn't be as much.
Yeah.
So it'd be like a hover shadow in that case?
Yeah.
So it wouldn't look like an actual like walking shadow, it would just be a hover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, descriptors are good.
Yeah, a little bit more description for that one. I would have allowed. I would have liked. And then my next one is when is actually the end of this story when like the evil blood covered possessed little doll is revealed. It was the doll from the game. It had to be. Did it? Of course it does, but like, why say it that way in the story? Like, just say it's the Tails doll. It might be a bit obvious and straightforward for the story, but that's really all it needs, like, for the revelation there.
Well, the thing is, what isn't said is that it's actually the son's doll. because he loved the game so much to 100%
You
it.
gotta.
He went and bought a plushie.
Then we need to add on to that the story where he went and got that. Like, because again, like that brings into what I said last week about like having that idea, like that angle for a story with the Tails doll is like you go to like a flea market or a game store that's selling the Tails doll, and then you find out that it's actually just the Tails doll from the game, but it's stuck in the real world.
And it's the Tails doll is actually going after the wife, because the wife is the one who bought the Tails doll.
Yeah, clearly. In a perfect world, that would be exactly the case. Yeah. Gamer, do you have any? Sorry, Mikey, do you have anything for the actual thoughts on this story?
My only thought for this part is about the Supernatural Task Force.
The most important thought.
Okay, go on.
And how this story just continues from last time, that the Tails doll is actually there, and he's a good guy. Because, you see, the father went into the kids' room at night, and then went back to his room, and woke up his wife accidentally. And his wife is going to kill him in the morning because of this waking up. So the Tails doll is there to take the husband away so that he doesn't get killed in the morning.
Sure.
Yeah, why not?
And
That's flawless to me.
and the ellipses that is there in the speech, because what the Tails doll actually says is, "You are coming with me if you want to live forever."
Come with me if you want to live forever.
It's just saying, like, we have to leave here forever, because if you ever come back, she's going to kill you.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have woken her up. She's right there. You actually married an axe murderer.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's just like that. That Michael Myers or that Mike. Okay, Michael, the guy who did Austin Powers. Is his name Michael Myers or Mike Myers?
Mike Myers.
Okay. It's hard, dude. There's literally a killer named Michael Myers and an actor named Michael Myers. Except he's named Mike Myers. I'm sorry, Tangent Please, we'll get done.
His name's probably Michael, like his full written name. Yeah. Because it goes by Mike to not be associated with an expert.
Exactly, not to be associated with a killer from the 80s.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, it's just like that Mike Myers movie. I married an axe murderer.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. And that's all. That's your thought there? It's just the SNTF would have made it better?
Yep.
Okay. That's fair. It's like my Cthulhu would make it better.
Yeah, that's true. How would Cthulhu make this better?
I don't know.
Okay.
Hang on. Give me a second. All right. See, what's happening here... It's really hard to, like, try and, like, mash a Cthulhu monster or god into this story. Outside of, like, Nyarlathotep, maybe? Like, maybe the Tails doll is just another mask of Nyarlathotep. Or it could be Carcosa. It's actually, like, the game's curse is actually... because Tails is yellow.
He's orange. Which is reddish yellow.
Reddish yellow.
Yeah.
And he's like a ragdoll kind of thing, so like the Tattered King kind of angle. So maybe it's like, maybe the game is like the curse and the game are like somehow like anchoring Carcosa to reality, and so like that's why like the weird shit comes out of the video game is because it's just Carcosa bleeding into reality as it tries to consume us.
Maybe he's reddish yellow because he was originally purely yellow, but after years of being stained in blood, it's like tinted him a little bit red, which makes it come out orange, right?
Also, alternatively, to use a less known or less popular elder god, Cthulhu, the fire vampire, or the star vampire, who is basically just a mote of fire that siphons life force and blood from people. The ritual actually just summons one of his lesser servitors as like a little mote of fire, but it doesn't to our fragile human minds. It doesn't appear as a mote of its true form. It appears as something friendly and familiar, and that's the problem. It appears as the red glowing gem that's on the Tails doll. So the Tails doll itself is not the problem, not the monster. It's actually that gem that it's dangling from. It's like a lure, if you will. And you like basically the ritual that you do, like the whole like Bloody Mary-esque ritual, is just summoning a small fire vampire.
Yeah, surprisingly plausible.
Yeah.
Why
So
not?
yeah, Cthulhu would have made it better.
This is true.
I'm just writing this furiously down for a new scenario to run.
Yeah, there you go.
Let Travis and Adam from Roleplay Exchange know. All right.
That's all you got?
Yeah.
So for me, mine is kind of tied into what you said, Cultist, but a little bit before it as well. The whole section where he got out of bed, opened the door, everyone walked the dinosaur, there was the Tails doll there, and he said, you have to come with me forever, and all that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Entire thing. So I have multiple problems with this. The first being that he doesn't say that he straight up sees it, and he keeps going back on itself. Like, first, he's hearing the words, which he wouldn't need to see it to know. So you could potentially hear it talk through the door.
Yeah.
Then he says it's an evil, blood-covered, possessed little doll, which sounds like he sees it. However, next he says it was the doll from the game. It had to be. So because he said that had to be, like you mentioned, it sounds like he's assuming. Like, if he's seeing it, he wouldn't have to say that.
Like he's not believing his own eyes.
Like, it's got to be that. It can't be. Like, it has to be that. But it sounds like... Because if you can see it, then you know it's it, so you wouldn't be saying that. Yes, Cultist?
Okay, to add on to my Cthulhu would make it better.
Great.
Or Cthulhu would make it better, because Cthulhu is the fire vampire. Anyway.
Please go.
That's the reason why he said that, was because he was actually, like having, like, weird hard time seeing the fire vampire that he'd summoned, that him and his child had summoned through the game. And so he thinks it's like being transposed on, like, the fire vampire's true form is being transposed on with this, like, hologram, or like this like mental image of the Tails doll, because it's the only friendly thing that he can think of.
Mm-hmm. Because it's the last thing he saw before bed.
Exactly, yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's, again, like adding on to like he's like rolling sand checks at the fucking yin yang as he's like seeing this creature behind at his door.
Yeah,
that makes more sense. Also a very polite fire vampire to knock on the door with this like little like slathery like fire tentacle.
Trying to blend in, right? He's smirked. But yeah. If it said something like he got out of bed and slowly opened the door, hearing someone say blah, 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 and when the door was open enough to see what was on the other side, it was a doll, an evil, blah, 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 blah. And it was floating, because it usually floats. Again, just like what we're saying with most of this, more descriptors would be good.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it being there, it's just such a blanket statement. Is it slumped on the floor? Is it floating? Yeah. Is it standing there? Because it floats.
Exactly, yeah.
But it could also just be on the ground, so... Because so much is left out, it's hard to visualize what it is, and it's hard to be scared because you can't visualize it. And that's all I got for the first one.
Okay. Well, with the second version, I had basically used gone with my. I used up my one actual thought with my grammar position. So yeah, I have nothing for another version.
Okay.
They're all called another version, by the way.
I know. I personally had the main version, another version, yet another version, the last version.
Oh, I have version 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's fair.
Yeah. So this is the one where it just blatantly kills the kid.
Yeah, it's a very succinct one.
Yeah.
Hang on, just gonna wait for this dog to stop barking.
Yeah, and. My thoughts for the Supernatural Task Force on this one.
Okay, you basically say that for every single one, because they're all the same
should be.
No, I mean, for all these stories are basically the same thing, rendition.
Well, my thoughts for this one wasn't enough information.
Yeah.
Like, how do we know that Tails kills the guy? Because there's...
Oh, you think this is just a blatant, like, abbreviated one to cover up that, like, the Tails doll is the hero we needed, not the monster we got?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Painting him in a poor light.
Yeah. That's how things go, man.
Mm-hmm.
Propaganda.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
How you doing? How you doing over there?
I'm alright, I guess. So, my first note on this part is I'm not sure how I feel about Once Upon a Time to start a creepy story.
I mean, it can be done well. Like, if it's a dark fantasy, if it's a dark fairy tale. but like it isn't exactly a dark fairy tale.
No.
And I mean, it's adequate. Like Once Upon a Time, like
yeah, but saying that's adequate for every single story in existence.
That's the reason it was so popular for fairy tales.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but because of that, it kind of like paints it in the wrong picture from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
So, a problem I have with this is the fact that, like, the story, it's a ritual pasta.
Yeah.
And it's saying how it's done. However, it shows two rituals in the same story. Because these are both posted under the same person.
Is the succinct one, though.
This is the one that's Once Upon a Time, and then directly after it, there's a ritual.
Yeah, there's a how to,
Yeah.
But they're both saying different things.
Yeah, the one is the playing the game, the other's the Bloody Mary scenario.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why it's showing both. Meanwhile, like it's saying like this is how the Tails doll kills you, and then immediately after this is a different way how he kills you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if they're both,
it's like double the ritual, double the fun.
Not really.
Yeah. And then, it's basically just, like I kept saying, I've kept saying this entire freaking recording, it's just Bloody Mary revised. Like that one story. And I mean, again, it's I can understand why somebody would want to use that, because it is such it's got a little bit of gravitas to it, because of how, like, old it is, and how, like, popular it is among, like, urban legends.
It's because how simple it is. Like, you can sure go do that right now.
Exactly. It's about as simple as like getting a Ouija board, or like using like I'm trying to think of, or going to like a crossroads and waiting for a demon to show up. It's like that. It's even simpler than that, because you just go into your bed, into your bathroom, turn off the lights, and just say Bloody Mary 3 times.
Mm.
It's like Beetlejuice,
pretty much. Yeah.
Or what's that one? There's another silly thing about that. No, there's tons of variations even of Bloody Mary. It's not just that one. It's like you just go. It's basically just go into a dark room with a mirror and repeat a name a couple of times.
Yeah, Biggie Smalls.
Exactly.
Biggie
That's what I was trying to remember. Biggie Smalls.
Oh, you're trying to remember South Park. That's weird.
I mean, like, you're infecting me with the South Park virus.
Yeah. I'm glad.
I'm not.
Oh, or it could be even more horrible, which is basically the reason why you play the song is because it gives time for your eyes to adjust.
Yeah.
And that red light is actually a video recorder.
Oh, fuck. And so, like, there's somebody else in the room recording you?
Yeah.
Fuck!
I mean, you can see the red light immediately, though.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
You need 4 minutes for your eyes to adjust to see a red light?
Maybe.
Potentially.
But no, that is actually really good. Like, you go in there, and then, like, not even like they're in the same room. They're at the window recording you. That'd be fucking creepy.
There's no window in the bathroom.
Okay, well, if you had a window in your bathroom.
Yeah.
And it's on the second floor. What?
Tails off can float.
Exactly. Well, again, I'm going off the premises, like, it's just a fucking...
Just a dude.
It's a horrifying, like, it's like pedophile kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
Some like creepy, skeevy, like, snoop in, like, looking in your windows.
I thought you were about to say some creepy, skeevy Snoop Dogg kind of guy.
Snoop Dogg, the creep... No.
Mm-hmm. It's just a dog that's snooping, that's all it is. With a camera on his head.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's just Snoopy.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. No, that is... If you want to make this, like, really dark, like real world, like, that's definitely a way to do it. Actually, I kind of like that. Somebody write that story, because it doesn't even have to be Tails doll. That's creepy. Like, just for doing like I was doing the Bloody Mary. So you go into the story thinking it's going to be just a Bloody Mary like creepypasta thing, and then you find out it's like something even more like gross and terrifying.
Yeah, Nebraska.
Yeah. Oh god.
Person gets captured and taken to Nebraska. Yeah.
Okay, not that gross,
Okay,
but like,
fair.
but just like again like. Because the invasion of privacy, that it plays on that fear, like the like you thought you were safe in your bathroom. Nope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But another problem I have with this is a problem I had with the previous creepypasta where it jumps in and kills the kid. Like that shit sucks.
Yeah, no, it's this. Well, I mean, honestly, I wasn't expecting any different from this because it's just so short. It's such an abbreviated version of the story.
Yeah.
Of the tale. But
moving on.
Yes.
So with the red light and the mirror situation,
Yep.
I assume the red light is the antenna.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
it's the joke.
Right.
Yeah.
But and in the second one, he gets killed too.
Yeah.
So this can't be the same protagonist, right? If this is one story, this guy gets killed via the game. This guy gets killed via rip-off Bloody Mary ritual. They're two people.
And this is why I thought it was two separate people submitting this one.
It might be one person submitting two stories.
I swear to God, I thought I saw like on the website, like right above this, like the how to do the Tales Doll Curse, there was like reader submission anonymous.
Another version. There's the Tales thing. Goes down.
There's no anonymous thing, like underneath, like how you'd have like with like the names of the other character or the other like submitters.
No, because above it says reader submitted by
anonymous.
It doesn't say
anonymous. Let me see. Who's that? Give it. Okay. Okay, yeah, that's the first one.
Yes.
And then you go down, and then reader submission. It's Victor, Poyraz, and Mattias, and it says another version. And then reader submission, anonymous, for the how-to.
That's a different one, though.
Yeah, that's the same one.
No, it's not. Look, okay. Right here. Okay, so that is the Once Upon a Time.
Yeah.
And then the Once Upon a Time one, there's where he dies, and then that is how to do the Tales Doll Curse.
Oh! Okay, sorry. Okay,
then, it's all the same one.
Okay, then I fucked up. Like we brought up earlier, I fucked up.
The problem is also there's multiple that are on the Bloody Mary ritual.
Yeah.
And so they bleed together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because bleeds together, like Tales Doll bleeds. Go. What?
Yeah, okay, move on to the next one.
Alright, fine. So, yeah, you gotta describe shit more.
Yeah.
Long and short of it.
Well, yeah, because that was like just basically a quick-fisted rundown of that. Alright, so moving on to the one which is by Anonymous.
You could have waited just for me to say, that's all I had to say for that one. That is all I have to say.
I assumed it was.
But you assumed correctly.
I know what
but I don't like assumptions.
I know. Well, get used to it.
I don't want
to. You son of a bitch. No. that's what I figured you were saying to me.
I'm saying it in my head.
Yeah.
So recording.
So this is the one where it's like to summon the... Basically, it just explains the ritual.
Another ritual, yes.
And it's actually more of a ritual version of like the main stories, like how he got them and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So you like, and I do like this aspect of the Tales Doll Curse targeting completionists, Mikey. You and your have to get whatever set to get all those achievements from all those Xbox games. Just as with like in many rituals and urban legends and creepypastas. Though, why do it? Like,
yeah.
What's the benefit here?
Yeah.
I do have it actually in the next
adrenaline.
Yeah, that's really like thrill seeking. Is like,
yeah.
Like I guess like maybe just like if you like to try and like scare yourself because like you don't believe it actually is going to happen. And actually, we'll have another example or another like idea for that thing in the next version because I actually brought up some ideas for like how you could make it, how you could include this. As a reason, like, for the Tales Doll Curse thing.
Mm-hmm. But sort of like, why do people do Bloody Mary?
No, that's exactly it. Why do Bloody Mary? Why do the Midnight Man game? Mm-hmm. Like, why do any of those games where you have to summon a demon and try and, like, keep hidden from it for, like, a certain amount of hours or you die? And, like, what? And then, like, if you survive the night, well, you survive the night. Go you. No gift, no wishes or anything like because at least some of them, like, 11 miles. Yes, you go through 11 miles of hell and a kilometer. But then if you get through that 11 miles and a kilometer, you get your wish granted. Like, mm-hmm. your most desired wish granted.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, yeah, it's always the kind of the weird irking factor. Like, you need more of a purpose other than to be a thrill-seeking, like, for, like, some kind of, like, thrill-seeking death wish. Mm-hmm. Which is what it kind of feels like.
Yeah.
For these, like, for not even just for this one, and not even ones for creepypasta ritual pastas, but urban legends that do this kind of thing. Like, I've always like, there's got to be a reason why somebody would do this other than they want to die. Or they don't want it. They wanted to try and beat the devil just to say they did.
No, it's actually a trolls pasta. So it's a pasta for people who want to troll people. So basically, if you can convince them to go into the washroom to play the music, then unbeknownst to the people, you actually have a laser pointer set up.
Nice. See, I was almost going to go a different way. It's like, you turn off the lights in the hallway, and then you slowly open the door, like just enough to like throw something in, and then you throw a Tails doll at them. You throw a plushy Tails doll at them after they've done the ritual, like while they're doing the ritual.
I was going to go a different way. Like, it was essentially made, like the entire creepypasta is made for the person who posted those YouTube videos to get more views on the reverse songs.
Yeah. It's actually it's just merchandise advertising for those reverse song YouTubes.
Exactly.
You guys?
Yes, they're actually on there.
I thought so.
Yeah.
I kind of like, that was the one where I was like, you know what? I'm just going to assume they exist because it's YouTube and the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I've seen enough shit when I Google, it's like, and it's been real. So yeah, I'm just going to assume that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So,
cool.
On to you, I guess, Mikey. Do you have anything else to say? Do you have anything to say about this one?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay.
So that was
the
second part of
the second
part of the Once Upon a Time one.
No, that was the anonymous one.
Where he's playing the game and the screen, the picture goes to a Tails doll on a red checkered floor. And then don't go near the red light, or it'll kill you.
Yeah.
Or give bad luck.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Alright, I guess I have something for that then.
Did you have something for that?
I should, probably.
Yeah, because my comment for that was just, I like how it's completionist. It targets completionists.
Well, the entire Tails doll thing.
I know, but I just like how that was specific. Again, it was just like, I don't have anything else to say about the story.
Yeah, you gotta pick something. So this whole thing is a pretty standard setup at this point, but I don't really get the whole ending. Because it says, you will see him standing on a red checkered floor. You might be hearing a song called Can You Feel the Sunshine? If you can see a red light, don't go near it. It's the Tails doll. It might kill you, or it will give you a curse. It will give you bad luck. So, see the red light where? In the game? In real life? I don't know what it's talking about at this point. Because this isn't playing the game. This isn't being in a
bathroom.
Yeah.
This one specifically is, it's just playing the cursed game.
And that's fine if the cursed game can kill you, but what red light is it talking about? Mm-hmm. Like, it's almost talking like something weird happens in the game and there's a red light and you have control over your character, but don't go near it, because if you go near it, then Tails will jump out and kill you. Yeah.
I'm going to preface this by, it's not said, but I believe the red light is probably, again, the red gem on Tails' head. And either, again, it's not said, but it's either on the screen or it's in your room. So that's what you're trying to...
Oh, it's like a reflection from the TV?
Yeah. But again, it's not... Maybe. Yeah, it needs to be elaborated on. Yeah. Again, we're kind of hammering home that, like, there needs a little bit more elaboration on some things in these stories.
It's hard to do a really short story well, because there's only so many words you can say.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But even just a couple simple words. If you see a red light in the reflection of your TV...
Well, and you say that, but I mean, like, we've read good short stories. Like, on this show.
Who's Phone? Best story ever.
Yeah. Should have sent a poet.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, like, realistically, like, we have, like, there is a good, there's definitely ways to do a good short story. It's just, these are urban legends. So, like, these are, like, people just, like, hammered them down and posted them online.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. That's all I got to say for that one. So on to
the last
part
one.
4.
Yeah. The last
version 4.
So, yes. All right. So this one was a mix, actually, of an actual. So this is actually an actual thought.
Actually, a lot.
It's actually an actual thought. So this is an actual thought mixed with a grammar acquisition. but I only just the actual thought is because I'll get into it. So here's the quote. On my 7th birthday, I got Sonic Gems collection, which included Sonic R. I kind of wish this to be like you get an actual witch who's carrying a copy of Sonic R on them. Like, I think that could be spun as a really interesting story. If you have if you get the Sonic Gem collection and then you summon a witch, like a top hat or like pointy hat,
saying I got
pointy hat and a broom with a copy, and she has a copy of the cursed game on her person, and tell that story because even if that's not really a horror story, that's still an interesting story to spin.
So you're saying he's saying that I got Sonic Gems collection. Witch included, including a witch.
Because and the reason I'm saying
the
all
witch
this,
included came with Sonic R.
Yeah, and of course the reason I'm saying all this and bringing this up and why this came to mind was because witch is spelled wrong in the sentence.
Oh, okay.
It's supposed to be WHICH, not witch with a pointy hat and broom, which is WITCH. Mm-hmm. Although again, a witch who's a fan of Sonic that you summon would be kind of cool for a story. I don't know if it would be scary, but it would be an interesting story.
I don't know if witches and Sonic really cross over too much.
You shut your face. Banjo-Kazooie can do it. Sonic can do Banjo-Kazooie. If Banjo and Kazooie can do it.
And Kazooie? They're hyphenated, aren't they?
If Banjo and Kazooie can have a witch in their game.
The game's called Banjo-Kazooie.
Is it? I thought it was Banjo and Kazooie.
No, there's no and. Why do you think I kept stopping you?
If Banjo-Kazooie can do it, have a witch in their game, then Sonic can too. Just saying. Personal opinion. Don't at me, brah.
Maybe some kind of science witch that's
No, it doesn't have to be a science witch.
It's always Robotnik and these fighting robots all the time.
Oh, God, Cyber Witch.
There you go, sure.
Robo Witch. Think I know what the title card's going to be.
If you want.
Anyway. Yeah. So on to my next note here. The next morning, I hopped onto Google and looked up strange glitches on Sonic R, and a story of the Tails doll curse came up. The glitches matched up perfectly with the curse. I now knew what was going on. I also looked up ways to summoning him and found the following. Why? Why would you go searching for ways to summon him rather than, I don't know, ways to banish him or protect yourself from him? Do you have a death wish?
There'd be no story otherwise.
I know. Well, here's my example, actually, for this. And I'm just going to bring it up here with the last part of the story. His bloody, bloody face shan't be forgotten. Then he whispered into my ear, "Can you feel the sunshine? I can't, ever." And just as suddenly as he came, the doll was gone. Nice use of the Old English word shan't, by the way. Mm-hmm. But then every sentence after that doesn't start with capitalization. Now, getting back onto my comment from earlier there, I don't mind the whole vanishing angle, because maybe that's how you get rid of him in this case. The summoning ritual, the Bloody Mary-esque summoning ritual, is actually how you counter the curse when you do the video game. Rather than get killed by him, you summon him, and if you manage to survive, maybe it's either...
If you don't freak out?
If you don't freak out, or if you just, exactly, if you, confront him, he vanishes after he does his creepy, cryptic message, and that's how you actually get rid of him. So rather than get killed by the video game version, by the video game curse, this is how you counter the curse. You add another curse to the curse.
You know what? He summoned him and he reached out to touch his ear. He tagged him.
Was that expensive? I don't know. Is this broken? No, it's good. Cool. Oh, man. Cult with fucking have a field day if they I get sacrificed if that broke. Wow, yeah. Bam!
He's tagged.
Done.
He's dead.
We're done. 10 out of 10. 11 out of 10.
Yep.
Flipping my shit out right now. Holy crap.
You're welcome. What a revelation!
Yeah, exactly. What a revelation!
There you go.
Need a cigarette after that.
You're welcome.
Wow.
That was cosmic.
That was amazing. Like that revelation right there. Because yeah, you summon him, and then you touch him, and bam! That's how you counter the curse.
Mm-hmm.
You have to curse yourself again. You have to double curse yourself, but then confront
double
the curse.
negative is a positive.
Exactly. Holy shit. Done. Like, perfect. Another angle.
A less awesome angle.
A less awesome angle than that, though, I had an idea. I was like, story takes, the story is in fact told to us, or written or told to us, as a ghost's story. The writer or teller is actually a ghost.
Oh, I see.
Because I feel like ghosts' stories don't get a lot of love, or don't get enough love. Like, where it turned out that the person who was telling the ghost story was in fact a ghost himself. Like, that they didn't survive the tale.
Yeah.
So, because, like,
that's nice.
Every time, like, you hear a story, like a horror story specifically, and the writer is the person who's in the story, you expect them they're going to survive. Because you're reading it, basically, most of the time when they tell that, it's a journal entry.
Yeah.
But what if, what if you get the one where, like, they were dead the whole time, and they've been writing the story and posted it somewhere, and then it's like, wait, what? Or, again, it's like how you made Tales of Robert Allen 100% redeemed by having it be that the guy was a ghost the entire time in that bar, and he just vanished.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up.
Oh. It's almost as good as
Tag.
as the tag counter curse. Like, motherfucker.
Yep.
I'm done.
I broke him. I did it.
I'm good. I'm up there.
How do you, Mikey?
Mikey, what do you think about that last story?
Alright.
Last variation?
So bringing it back to the Supernatural Task Force.
As you should.
Yes.
So the protagonist in this story is under no threat of danger of being killed. So when the Tails doll gets summoned, you're just like, I don't need to take you anywhere. You're safe.
That's why he didn't murder him.
Yeah.
He's just like, don't touch me.
Yeah.
That's why he didn't kill him. Like hurt him right. He's like, swap. Nah, quit him.
It's kind of funny.
It was kind of humorous.
Mm-hmm.
In a creepy sort of, because I was expecting it was like he swatted him. His arm went flying into the wall, like severed. Just like,
no, he's just like, stop it.
Stop.
It's like a cat batting you in the
Yeah,
head with a
exactly.
paw.
It's like, yeah.
Cool. All right, I guess I got to bring this home. I have several things.
I don't know, like you brought it home with that one revelation there, man.
Then I'm going to bring it on vacation and back home again.
Oh, man. All right.
So
Do it!
So 11 o'clock finally came, and he played the songs, waited 5 minutes and all that. Sure, he was there, blah, 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 blah. You're stunned to see him. He sat there by my head, staring right into my staring right into my eyes, right?
It's
motionless. Regardless, aren't you in your bathroom with the lights off at 11 p.m.? It's pitch black. How could you see anything? This is before his gym lights up more. Like, he's specifically saying, like, he can see that he's staring right into his eyes, motionless. Like, you can see that much detail.
There might be a light coming in from the hallway, like even through the little crack, and that enough light, you can get accustomed to that light.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Like, as long as there's even a little sliver of light in that room, the human eye can adjust to it after a while.
That's possible. I'll let that slide. But yeah, then he slowly reaches out to touch his ear, quickly gets smacked, and then his face gets illuminated by the gem. So, this is when the reveal of being able to see it should have came.
Yeah.
instead of describing it before, because he's legit being lit up now. Problem being is, like, would you really be able to see that he's covered in blood? And all that?
Red?
When it's pitch black and it's a bright red glow on him, and he's orange, which is almost red already.
And then there's there's more red on him.
Of blood.
Maybe like on like the white parts of the Sonic, or not the Sonic, of the Tails part of the character, because he's got like a white belly kind of thing, and like a bit of like the white underneath his mouth kind of thing.
Yeah, but like all the orange and stuff, wouldn't that just look red as well? It
might be a darker viscous. He'd know that there's a dark viscous liquid on him,
or it might be dried blood.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe I don't know.
So, like kind of blackish brown.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, just put two into one there. Sorry, I was reading ahead in the next one. That's kind of the same thing. Because I put two in together. So then he whispered in his ear, "Can you feel the sunshine?" "I can't, ever." "Well, of course you can't. You're a robot. You have no receptors to feel warmth." That's the real problem here.
Yep, clearly.
Yeah. Maybe that's why he kills people. He's jealous that fleshy beings can feel the sunshine, but he can't.
I have no sunshine receptors.
That's true. Because in the game, when you play as him, pretty much on every map, that song plays when you're playing Tails. Though.
Yeah.
Only.
And I mean, that would be enough to drive anybody mad.
That's a good song, though. It's very peppy. And then my last note is, and suddenly, as he came, the doll was gone. It's kind of nice to see that he didn't just kill him this time. Every single other one is just, he's dead. The kid died. So yeah, I just kind of like that, the fact that the final one, at least the protagonist didn't just die.
Yeah.
For no reason, just...
He actually, like... Again, he counter-cursed the curse by doing another curse.
I just wish it said that now.
Yeah, no, that's like, tag.
Yuri.
That would have been... Moi.
Yeah,
like,
nice.
the final bit of spice to the Alfredo... Or the Alfredo.
That's a funny joke you did there.
Yeah, I tried. I totally failed it, but it's fine. Thanks for helping make me feel better.
I was actually enjoying that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You just ruined it now.
I'm too much on a high from the from the revelation.
That's fine. I understand.
So, then I guess that's it. Oh, yeah. Final thoughts? I don't hate the Tails Doll Curse urban legend that spawned, like, other creepypastas and stuff like that. I think this one's a better one than the creepypasta we read last week.
Which one?
The Tails Doll one.
The first one.
Yeah.
Which of these four?
The kind of them all together. But
okay.
But because they're all basically the same story. They just are, like, slightly different, like, retellings.
Well, it's either you play the game, you tag Sonic, and bad shit happens, or you go in the... What?
You tag in the game, you tag for real.
There you go. I knew you were going to go there. Or you go in the bathroom and play the songs and things happen.
But in this one, like, again, like, this one, there was a clever, like, at least we came up with a clever way to, or like, so like, okay, the main version of the story gives you a lot of the deets on the father buying the game for the kid and some of that and all that's happening. And some of the other ones, they kind of just have a slightly differentiation, like the kid is the only one in the story, really, and he gets mauled or killed or whatever. Either by playing the game and completing it, or doing the Bloody Mary ritual and doing that and getting killed. But then, like, the last version, it tells the story, the same kind of plot premise as the other versions, but at least kind of in its own story, and kind of like what we came up with, uses both versions to counter the curse.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty fucking amazing. Like, as far as, like, a spooky story, a spooky ghost story goes. Yeah. And it gives a purpose to the ritual pasta.
Yeah, this entire time you're like, why would you do this?
Exactly. This is why you counter the curse.
If you got the balls to touch him, you're fine.
Exactly. You got the courage to do it. Link. Just click and just tag that damn Tails doll.
Yep.
And bam, you've beaten the curse. You can survive. You've survived the night.
You
like, it gives a reason, and I love that. So Yeah, I kind of would recommend these. Like, if you're a fan of like video game creepypastas and urban legends, anyway, specifically anyway, I would recommend this urban legend, and to read at least like the first and last one, maybe the other two, just to kind of like so you have
short, anyways.
Some extra context. Yeah, it's not good. Literally, this is like less than 3 pages.
Yeah.
Like if you like collect them all together. So yeah, I actually recommend this urban legend if you're a fan of Sonic, if you're a fan of video game creepypastas, haunted, like cursed video games, even like the ritual pastas, as much as I kind of despise them sometimes, like I kind of liked how this one was a take because there was some purpose and hope in them. Yeah. Like it's not just it was like 11 Miles. There was a purpose to that. Just like there was a purpose by the end of reading all 4 of these stories, there was a purpose to these rituals.
And that is kind of headcanoned, but he didn't die at the end, so
yeah. So
maybe he
inadvertently countered the curse.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, so that's my recommendation. Like this, I'm glad we sat down and read the original urban legends that spawned the creepypasta idea. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, Mikey, what are your thoughts? Your final thoughts?
Well, I tried to make an it story.
Oh, shit. Oh, God. And now, for Mikey's it story. Take it away.
It was a racing game, and when he gave his son the gift, he was so excited to get it and play it right away. It was a doll. It was the doll from the game. It had to be.
And now, Chapter 2.
It's the Tails doll. It might kill you, or it will give you a curse. It will give bad luck.
And now, Chapter 3. Oh, is that the...
That's it.
That's it. Oh my god, so we had an It Chapter 1 and an It Chapter 2.
Wow. Alright.
Where's Pennywise?
He'll be here somewhere.
Just like comes out of the darkness. Hello.
So yeah, the father gets him the Tails doll. He's like, here's the Tails doll. It might kill you or give you a curse. Goodbye. Goodbye. That's essentially it.
Just peace out.
Yeah, pretty much.
If you were my son, you'll survive.
It's your rite of passage.
Yeah,
it's a family tradition. Play the soft car game.
Yeah.
Anyway, so for recommendations, I recommend the first story, but I didn't like the departure from it being the game and it adding the whole Bloody Mary.
Yeah, but that last one like makes it so much better.
Did you think that before I broke your mind, though?
I kind of did, actually.
Oh, okay.
I think that my final thought was like, yeah, actually, yeah, because I didn't mind a lot the last one because it kind of gave the like there's a creepy encounter with the using the Bloody Mary summoning thing, but it almost gives it like summoning him in the hopes of stopping him from killing you. Mm-hmm. Like it's the confrontation ritual, basically. Yeah, so I had that originally, but it just exploded in Revelation.
Yes.
But you didn't care for that Bloody Mary revision?
No.
Okay. It's okay to be wrong.
Wow. Well, for me, first thing I want to talk about that we didn't actually talk about was the art. That's in these.
Yeah.
So the art in these looks like it's just straight up Tails with an RC antenna in his head.
Just a murder bit Tails.
Which is not what he is.
No, if you look at if you Google Tails doll, it's just like a plushy Tails with a little antenna and the ruby and the little gem at the end.
Except for the ones that show up in regards to the creepypasta when they look like Tails.
Yeah.
When he's not supposed to. He's supposed to look like a voodoo doll, or kind of like Sackboy from Little Big Planet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He's stitched together.
Yep.
I found a really nice picture here of Tails doll and Tails. They look very different.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because he's not furry, he's just stitched together.
The thing is, it's kind of the nature of fan art. Because everybody has a different conceptions of what the character is. But regardless of if the description is the same.
But the thing is, the doll on the top of this picture, that is the reason that all of these creepypastas were made. Because the doll itself was creepy.
Mm-hmm.
In its current form.
Because it's soulless eyes. And
so why did they switch it to tails for most of the art?
Fan art. Like, that's all I got for it. Is like, they didn't, maybe some artists didn't like how the doll looked like, and they liked how, they wanted just a murderous looking tails.
That's fine, but
with the antenna.
But, and that would be fine if they made that into the story. Like, that's why it's there. Because the art shows an actual tails, I was kind of hoping that these stories would be about a real creature being turned into a robot, like a cyborg for Robotnik.
Yeah.
Hence why he has blood and all that.
So maybe maybe that's how, like, when he kills you, he doesn't just, like, again, like, swipes at you and you die, or, like, jumps out of the TV and kills you. He, like, jumps out of the TV, grabs you, and starts roboticizing you.
Yeah. Like
he was roboticized. Suddenly it becomes like a robopasta.
Like he unzips his freaking...
And there's like a fabricator, like a robot fabricator kind of thing.
So it's like using your meat.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of, yeah. Like there's lots of interesting ways you can do it, but it's not.
No, I think another case of is like a lot of those drawings that we've been seeing are post-story, or like somebody heard the urban legend and is like, oh, that's really cool. I'm going to draw a tail, like a creepy tails thing. Oh, he's a doll though. I'm just going to put the antenna on the crystal. Like that's how I imagine how a lot of those ones that are just tails, like creepyfied, are.
It's both simultaneously lazy and way more intensive art-wise.
Yeah.
Because it's more difficult to draw tails than draw the Tails doll.
Yeah.
Because of how simple the Tails doll is.
Yeah.
But it's lazy because they're not looking up what the Tails doll actually is.
I know. Who would do that for the title cards?
Right?
Who would do that in the early days of the title cards? Some modern ones.
Some modern ones.
Sorry, I got something in my throat.
Yeah? Is it bullshit?
Yep.
Delicious bullshit. But yeah. My real big problem with all of these creepypastas and urban legends and everything is, why are so many kids loving Sonic R? Just why? It's Sonic.
Just because you don't like a thing doesn't mean a ton of people like that.
It's not just me. A lot of people don't like Sonic.
Well, a lot of people like Sonic, so it's not just like...
Oh, I'm not saying Sonic in general. I'm saying Sonic R is a bad game.
I know, but like some kids, like a lot of kids grew up on that game.
Yeah.
And like, sure, like some kids hated it, some kids didn't. Like, it's almost like we're all different people.
I know.
Think of it this way. Without Sonic R, they may not have continued the racing side of Sonic, and thus we wouldn't have Sonic Transformed.
Yeah, I guess.
So,
at the same time, though, we also wouldn't get Mario and Sonic ski, or like winter sports.
Was that a thing?
That is a thing
the Olympics. Yeah.
It's like Mario and Sonic characters in the Olympics.
Oh yeah, right. That was a thing. Yeah. But either way. That was mainly said as a joke, because it's a bad game. I get some people like it, but...
Yeah, so I
you're getting very defensive.
Sometimes
you're like white knighting me.
No, just maybe. Sometimes your jokes, I just don't register as jokes, or I just like instantly want to like no, you gotta think of it this way kind of thing. I'm too nice, apparently. I'm too like...
But not nice towards me.
No, well, we're friends. Like, I don't have to be that nice to you. You know I'm nice. Most of the time. Right?
60% of the time, you're nice every time.
Oh, thanks. Alright, anyway.
Overall, though, just the way that it went with the Bloody Mary stuff, like, it is a very, like, really standard way of doing something creepy, like, just introducing a Bloody Mary-esque thing, but if it has a reason, like we came up with, that's neat. And I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. So overall, the Tails doll thing, I like it. And I like that it all spawned just because there's this creepy character that floats around in this racing game for no real reason.
Yeah.
And people found it creepy and made a thing of it. I just wish the art was actually the Tails doll. It's hard to find any of the voodoo voodoo doll style Tails doll. But overall, I would recommend it, I guess. Comparatively,
I guess.
I suppose.
If I have to, I guess.
I'll give it a light recommendation, because it's not... You're not getting expert writing here. But, if you...
Sorry, yeah, I got
Just because all of them are so short. And I hate just like the instant deaths on a lot of things.
Yeah.
But the potential is there for it to be something more. And that's what I'm recommending is the potential of it, not the execution of it.
So, technically you shouldn't be recommending it because the execution was poor.
Yeah, but here's the thing. If there's a Sonic writer out there that really loves Sonic and is a good writer and likes writing stuff that's longer than it takes me to take a dump, then then I would recommend them to read this to get the story and write an actual good story.
That's true, yeah.
But for someone wanting a fleshed out story that paints a very visual picture for you and everything makes sense and it's very tense and scary, you're not going to get that.
Yeah.
But the potential for something like that is there.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, and remember, if they don't find you creepy, they'll at least find you pasta. Sorry.
All right. Is that your new outro?
No.
That's short and sweet.
Oh, no, just because you brought up earlier, it's something that reminded me of Fred Green.
Yeah. Did I?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
This episode?
Yeah. Just recently, 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And I commented on it, and you're like, okay. And then it reminded me of I was sort of formula. I was like, how does the sign off go? It's, it's like, kinda, I guess. It's like,
Right.
what was it?
I'm a man, and I can change if I have to,
I guess.
Yeah.
All right, sit down.
The man's pledge.
Yeah, the man's pledge, yeah. So, the creepypasta pledge is
yeah, pretty much.
I'm a pasta, and I can be creepy if I have to.
I guess. Yeah.
But anyway, our shitty silliness aside, if you like what you heard or if you didn't, leave us a comment in the comment section below where this gets posted, whether it be on Kiwi6, Facebook, YouTube, or Tumblr. You can get a hold of us on Twitter. Mikey is at the E stands for evil. The gamer is
Spell that out for them?
You need 3 tongues to do it. The Gamer in Yellow is at the Gamer in Yellow, but without the W because his name is too long.
It really is.
I'm at Review Cultist. You can also send us emails at aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. That's aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. Where you can also leave us suggestions for other creepypastas you'd like us to discuss on the show. Also, on our YouTube comments, you can send us you can send us suggestions. Wherever you would like to get a hold of us, you can contact us and send us suggestions. Please send us suggestions.
Including Discord.
Yeah. And we have a new... Well, the Discord's for Patreon.
That's fine. They can leave suggestions too.
I'll get to that. And if you'd like to help support the show, you can go to Patreon. Look up Al Dente Rigamortis and select the backer tier you'd like to support us at. We have $2 and $5 tier with special episodes, early access, extra content, and access to our Discord channel because we're testing the waters on that stuff. So, and you can leave suggestions there if you'd like. We actually have a couple of people that are regularly talking on there at least and leaving. We have a new person that's recently been leaving a lot of Nightmare Fuel artwork.
Excellent.
So, yeah. And to our patrons that are already helping support the show, thank you guys immensely because you're helping keep those hosting bills at bay, and we very much appreciate that. And to the listeners of our show and the authors of these stories, thank you guys immensely because, seriously, without either of you, either your listenership or your authorship, we wouldn't have much of a show. So thank you. Until next time, I've been your host, Review Cultist.
I'm Mikey, the E stands for evil.
And I'm the Gamer in Yellow.
And this has been Al Dente Rigamortis. Sleep well.